What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Triple Thrift Podcast. I am one of three of your hosts, Drew, aka Profit Monsters, on YouTube, here with two of my best reseller friends in the world, Josh, aka Harry Tornado, and Joey Bada Bing 22. And welcome to another episode. We are excited to jump in and just chat it up, talk about reselling, YouTube, and everything there in between. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope you guys are enjoying these podcasts. And if you are, make sure you leave us a comment on whatever platform you're listening on so we can know where you guys are listening from. With that being said, Josh had a very exciting weekend. He was actually on vacation in Orlando, and so we got to spend some time together. So, Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about your vacation, and then we'll do some reseller chat.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I like that you introduced me and me and Joey as two of your best reseller friends. Like, not. I'm pretty sure called you guys my best friends, and Drew's like two of my best reseller friends. Like, you got to add that extra adjective in there. Drew's got so many best friends; he's got to be specific.
I really don't. I'm actually a loner.
Dude, me too. I think most resellers are very, very much loners. I don't know any reseller that's like maybe Reezy. I think Reezy's like a very likable and popular guy. But
You guys are my best friends. I just didn't want to have to do a second take.
That's cool. But yeah, Haley, my wife Haley and I came to Orlando, Florida on a little vacation. We've wanted to get away for a while now. Last time we were in Orlando was for basically our engagement. Like that was our first kind of trip away together. And it was awesome. Went to Harry Potter World last time, and we wanted to get in there and see the new Hagrid ride and see what else has changed. And we loved it. We went to Universal Studios, Universal's, both of them, like the regular park and the Islands of Adventure. When Drew and his wife have season passes to SeaWorld, and they were able to get us into SeaWorld yesterday, Sunday, to see that. I haven't been to SeaWorld since I was like 5, so I had no memory of it at all. It was pretty good. We enjoyed it. So overall, it was a good vacation. Happy to spend some time with you guys. Joey drove up like 2 hours or so.
Yeah.
Meet us there, and it was just a fun time. Made it back earlier this afternoon, and first of all, sorry for the late podcast. We usually try to put these out on Monday, but me being on vacation, we thought last week we were talking about it. I was like, oh, we should record the podcast at SeaWorld on Sunday, and we're like, maybe that's not the most logistically sensible thing to do, but better late than never.
Yeah, we had a really good time. Just hanging out with you guys again was just amazing, and we didn't even film, and that was the best part. Just to hang out with each other, just to hang out and just have a great time. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. I hope we could do that more. It's just so hard because, Josh lives so far away, but me and Drew live like 2 hours apart. So I just can't wait to see you guys again. It's awesome. It's just so much fun to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was talking to Haley. I was like, wouldn't it be nice to move to Florida? We're close to Drew and Joey. There's no state income tax. We get Florida resident tickets to Disney and in Orlando.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It's definitely never enough time when we get together, and we've only gotten together, all three of us, twice. Mm-hmm. But the times that we've gotten together, it feels like it goes by so fast, and especially this weekend because, I had church in the morning, and then you guys, Joey had to drive up, and so, it was like 4 or 5 hours I think we ended up spending together, which is better than none, but, we definitely want to figure out ways to get together more. And maybe if Josh will hire me to list his death pile for him, then I'll be able to sneak in some hangout time. But
we had a video idea. The video is going to be called "He Listed My Entire Death Pile in 6 hours," and I was going to just buy Drew because Drew is really good at listing. Like the dude can just throw up listings like it's nothing. Whereas Joey and I think, struggle a little bit in comparison to Drew. So I was like, just, buy you a plane ticket, fly you up here, you just list everything, and then go back home when you're done. And I'll just film you.
Just a whole time lapse of Drew just listing, and you're just sitting there in like in a lawn chair, just drinking a Kool-Aid or something.
Yeah, exactly. Drinking a bang.
Oh, drinking a bang. Yeah.
But with the podcast today, we didn't really have an idea for it, and a lot of the times, I think we have some really interesting conversations when trying to come up with ideas for the podcast. So I was like, let's just press record and just have a true intimate conversation with each other. and just see where it goes. So how are you?
Hmm.
So our weekends were kind of weird. Like my weekend's been really long because we left for Florida Thursday, and I just got back today Monday. So it's been a long weekend. Sales have been weird but good, I guess. I'm not sure. So I guess we can talk about our weekend sales.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, I'll kind of start because right before we were doing this podcast, I was actually recording a what sold video from this weekend, which by the time you guys are listening to this should be out on my YouTube channel. But um, I actually had much better sales than I thought I did, because like my sales from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were so like spread out that I didn't even realize how much I did in sales. I had about between Friday, Saturday, Sunday about 1,500 in gross sales, which is pretty good. So considering, I when I first started reselling, my goal was to do like $150 net a day. That was my goal to be long term, is get to a point where I can net $150 a day. So to have a $1,500 weekend was really solid for me, and they were all really good, mostly good sales. Um, but I had this one which I was telling Joey. I got an offer after Josh had left SeaWorld. Joey and Destiny came back to hang out for a little bit and go see a whale show with us. And I got this offer on a sewing machine. I had it listed for $399. This is a little teaser for my video, I guess you could say. But someone offered me 250, and I put on my Instagram, should I accept or counter? And it was pretty split down the middle. I think it was more like 60-40, accept, 40 counter. And so I ended up countering at 300, just because that's more of what I am. I'm more of an aggressive seller. And so she declined my offer and then sent me a new offer of 200, and it was the same account. So they sent me a $50 offer less than what they had originally offered. And I messaged the lady and I was like, I just want to make sure this is the same person that originally offered me 250. And long story short, we went back and forth. I countered at 280, she countered at 210, 275. It was like kind of a stressful situation, but at the end of the day, I didn't want my emotions to get in the way and I didn't want to lose the sale. We ended up back at 250. I accepted. I had a flat rate charge of $50 on it for shipping, and it only cost me 30 to ship FedEx Ground. So realistically, I sold it for 270, and I only paid 15 bucks for it at a garage sale. So jokes on the lady who bought it from me. She thinks she won, but really I did.
That's
That's
great,
awesome.
man.
Joey, go ahead.
So I had 4 sales on Sunday, hanging out with you guys, and I think that's been the most in a while. I usually sell at least like one a day, but there weren't like drastic items like Drew. So I sold like $20 items. I sold like a Colgate 360 optic, like replacement heads. And then I sold a Nintendo 64. It's called a Rumble Pack. I guess it's like a vibrator to the like controller or something like
Yeah.
that. And then I sold it's like a WWE like wrestling figure from 1998. I actually picked this up with Drew when he came to see me, and we went to the flea market, and I sold it global shipping program. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I sold a Dolphins vintage hat. So like $20 items a piece, all a piece. So thought it was a
Was the
pretty good
Dolphins hat
weekend.
the one I gave you?
Which one?
Was the Dolphins hat the one I gave you when you came up to my house?
No, I found this at Goodwill. It's a
Oh,
vintage
okay.
Dolphins hat from 1974, actually.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool
Hmm.
hat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I left Thursday. So from Thursday afternoon until today, I've only sold 9 things, which eBay for me just comes in waves, man. Like I can sell like 10 things a day and then like 10 things in a week. Like I guess it really depends on how much you list, but I listed a lot of stuff last week and I had that one $700 sales day. Um, so I mean, so yeah, if you take a day and list a bunch of stuff, you're going to sell a bunch of stuff. But I think my biggest thing is consistency, because I'll have one day where I list a bunch and then I'll feel super accomplished, so I don't list anything else for like 2 weeks, and then I don't sell anything. I'm like, I guess I got to have another listing day, and I'll do another day, and then another 2 weeks with nothing. So I got to get more consistent, especially going into the end of November, December, when sales are going to be kicking it.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
I've seen different people have different strategies. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan and Lindsay, who are full time shoe sellers, at one point they were saying that their strategy was like they list on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and like they don't source, they don't leave their house. They do like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays sourcing. Sundays they do whatever they want, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays was their listing day, and they would do like 100 listings, or 200 listings in a day. And there was two of them, but they also don't sell on eBay, so it doesn't really affect them as much as what people say, with the algorithm and all
Mhm.
that, hosh posh about eBay, wants to see activity in your store and those types of things. It's not hosh posh, but it's not, I couldn't think of the right word, but you guys listening know what I'm trying to get at. But Poshmark and Mercari don't require you to be actively listing every single day to make consistent sales. You can just share your closet or,
Mhm.
boost your posts on Mercari or whatever. So they have a little bit of an advantage, but I don't think they do that anymore because they've got team members and stuff. But like for me, I try to list at least 10 items a day. That's normally my goal. Some days I hit it, some days I don't, which is why I was really surprised by my sales over the weekend because I spent so much time sourcing on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, not Sunday, I'm sorry. Friday
Yeah,
and
I was like,
Saturday.
wait a minute, when did you source
Yeah.
Sunday?
No, Friday and Saturday, but normally I don't source a lot on Fridays because I try to make sure all my previous stuff has been listed so I can go back out and go to the flea market. But Friday, I hit um, I did that Facebook Marketplace pickup, which was in my last video where I got all the video games, and then I sourced all the way home. I stopped at some Goodwills, some weak garage sales, and a couple other things, and then I sold the PlayStation 5. So like Friday was busy, and by the time I got home and spent time with the family and the kids, I didn't get really any listings done. I think I did like three or four, and then
Mhm.
Saturday I was up, and then at garage sales there was a community garage sale in my area, and it was the most garage sales I've ever seen in my area. Like it's never like that. Every garage sale I went to, I found something,
Yeah.
and it was crazy. And so between that and then after the garage sales, I went to the flea market and still found stuff. And then I went to the vintage clothing flea market called the Virtual Flea, which I'll have a video about that coming out soon too.
Mhm.
So I spent all day out and I didn't list pretty much anything on Saturday. And then Sunday, I went to church and then was with you guys. So for the amount of work I didn't do this weekend, I'm really happy with my sales.
Yeah, that's all. Yes, if you follow Drew on Instagram, you could see all the stuff he picked up. He definitely like, I just don't like the big stuff. Like, I saw you get another one of those like CD changers that are like, I feel like those things are 20 pounds and huge to ship. And yeah, they sell for great money. But even I found one at Goodwill the other day. It was like a Sony CD changer. I think it was like $8 or $9. Looked up comps. They were like, 60 to 80 plus shipping. And I left it. I'm like, man, I just don't. I know I'm just going to put it on the shelf in the garage and it's just going to sit there. Like, I'm not going to be motivated to test and list that. And I think that's one thing that sets Drew apart from other resellers is that he's never afraid of listing anything. Like, he just picks up huge combo units and huge receivers and stuff. Like when he and Joey came to visit me in South Carolina, we went through a Goodwill pallet and we pulled out this like, it was like a Sony receiver with like speakers or something. And we looked up comps. It was selling for like $80 plus shipping. I was like, I don't want it, man. If you want it, you can have it. Like, it's just going to take up room in my garage. And sure enough, Drew took it, tested it, listed it, and sent me a screenshot when it sold.
Like
That's right, baby.
instantly, like when he got home, he did that.
Yeah, I was like, he's probably listening on, like, testing it on the way home.
I stopped at a gas station, plugged it in inside the bathroom, made sure it worked,
Do
and
you guys
then
have a white sheet? I just need to take a picture.
no, but
But that's why you make as much money as you do reselling. It's just it's all about consistency and just being able to put in the work. I mean, you're listing. I really feel like you need more subscribers on your YouTube channel because of the amount of work you're doing. Like, I don't see any other resellers on YouTube putting in the amount of work that you're doing, at least, in front of the camera. Maybe they're putting in work behind it. You can't film everything you list, but
right,
um, I don't know, man. I just pass. But I think that's like a sign of maturity in reselling. Like, when you grow to a certain point where you stop, like in the beginning, I feel like everybody buys anything they can make a profit on, and then they
right,
build up a death pile, and then it like ruins them, and then they have to purge. But me, I'm like, I know I'm not like, yeah, it's a $60 profit or whatever, but I know I'm not going to list that. If I do list it and sell it, I'm not going to want to ship it. Like, I sold like a VCR or something last week that was pretty big, and that was just miserable. Like, I had to use the pool noodle method to like pad the corners, so it didn't get broken. And it took me like 20 minutes. I'm like, this just sucks, man. I think I made like $40 on it in profit, which was good, but
But
just
not
not what I
worth it
want to
for
sell.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's a great point though. What you said is like it had profitability, but you just left it because it's not for you, or you knew it was just going to sit. And the maturity word is literally the perfect word to describe it. And I think it's a great topic to discuss between the three of us, because you do in your business, in everybody's business models as resellers, it's important to find out, what you enjoy to sell, what you like shipping, what you like sourcing. And, some people like me, I'll ship anything if I can make a profit on it because I just love what I do. But like even Rally Roots, Ryan has said in multiple videos, like, oh, here we have a North Face jacket and they want $10 for it. We could probably sell it for 40, but we have so much clothing, it's not worth it for our business model right now to
Hmm.
sell stuff that's only going to net us $25 because we're selling espresso makers that net us $100 or whatever,
Yeah.
and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You leave it for the next reseller and somebody else will buy it and make a profit on it. And um,
Yeah,
I
I
think
always talk about the three P's of reselling. Like if you find an item, the first thing you have to look at is the profit. That's the first P. Like, is it profitable? A lot of new resellers are picking up items that they can make $8 on after fees and shipping, but it's like a VCR. It's not worth your time. Second, the second P you have to look at is your prep. Like how much time you have to spend, cleaning or testing, or you know how much work has to go into the item before it actually sells, like how much work you have to put into the item to get it listed. And then the third P is packing. How much time and materials do you have to spend packing the item? So the three P's of reselling, I created that. I'm proud of that. Anytime I find an item, I try. Sometimes I get a little excited and get overboard, and that's why I have like 7 VCRs sitting on my death pile shelf right now. But most of the time I try to think of those three P's, and I think that's a good habit to get into.
have you
Don't
made a video about that?
Not really. I made an Instagram post, and Renzi shared that, and I've talked about it in like live streams and this podcast now, but I haven't made like a dedicated video about it. But I feel like
I
it's I
think
feel
I
like
think
it's
you
really
should.
helpful.
I think you should. It is really helpful, and I definitely don't want to be silencing Joey. So make sure if you got something to say on this topic, jump
Yeah,
in,
Joey, jump in there.
because I could talk about this all day.
No, I
Um,
it's really cool to have your own kind of perspective on how you do your own job. I mean, I really think you should make a video about that. Like for me, I basically just I bring it home and it kind of just sits here, and then I do my Monday listings and like my listing lives, and I just try to knock it all out, like everything I bring home from the week. Because I don't know, man, it's just these last couple weeks has just been bringing me like I don't know, it's not like down, but like I just don't have the motivation, and I'm the motivator on Monday night. Like it just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. Like I don't know.
I,
I
I've
just
I found that a lot of people get to a point in reselling, which has been a topic even in Dominic's Reselling Resource Center Facebook group, is a lot of people ask questions about like, how do people not get burnt out? How do you avoid this? And that's one of the reasons why I'm such a big proponent of not having a death pile. Whether there's going to be another pandemic or not, and some people say their death pile saved them. If you look at the history of eBay, how many nationwide shutdowns did we have where a death pile was beneficial? One, and it was this year. You know, so I'm such a big proponent of not having a death pile for the reason of people lose motivation, people get anxiety, people get stressed out because they just don't know where to start. Once you start buying up stuff to a point where you have too much, psychologically you lose that motivation because you're like, ugh, I got so much work to do. I'm never going to get it all listed. And this
Hmm.
is one of the topics I discussed with Gail on Small Town
small town
Picker,
picker.
her channel. Um, is she was saying that she had a big death pile, and she's like, I just get overwhelmed. I come home from work, I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, what would you do? And I said the first thing I would do is I would walk in there and I'd say, Gail, what are you doing with all this inventory? And then the second thing I would do is I would look through it and find the most profitable items. I'd pick out 5 items and I'd challenge her to list those 5 items right now. I'd say list the 5 most profitable items you have in your death pile. And a lot of times listing is like a locomotive.
Hmm.
It starts off really slow, getting that first picture taken, the first listing done. It slowly goes, but that's how you guys, like Josh, you say like I'm a listing monster or whatever. It's like that's just how it happens. Is I start and then I get in the zone and then I just keep going and going and going, like the
Yeah.
Energizer Bunny, And it's like, for me, it's almost therapeutic to know that my death pile or whatever inventory I have is going to be fully listed, And this weekend is no exception because I bought so much stuff. So, like, I got a lot of work ahead of me this week, but I just have to discipline myself and not go out and source,
Hmm.
until I get a lot of it listed. And that's just, the discipline that I have to have. But, not everybody has that discipline because people like to buy, but they don't like to list. And I
Yeah.
think that's what separates the resellers from the business people, when you're
Collectors.
talking about scaling.
See,
There's
like,
go ahead, Joey.
See, like you just need to be disciplined. See, like with me, I have a routine. I go into work and right when I pull down my route and I take it out and I head onto the street, I basically just go straight to Goodwill. And that's like just it's in my mind where I have to, like, it's like the fear of missing out. And then you bring it home and you list like one of the great items like you said, and the others just like sit in the dust. So I'm trying to figure out like a different way of doing it. Maybe I like set a reminder on my phone like Joey list, or like something like that, where it's telling me what to do. Basically, I feel like that's a good thing for other people who are full-time like me working. And even if it's just one item, or just so you feel motivated, set a reminder. Everyone probably has an iPhone except Josh. But I'm sure you have reminders on like Androids
Yeah.
and stuff. But what I'm saying is just get motivated. Set an alarm, even if it's at like 10 o'clock. I don't know what time people go to bed, but if you're going to bed at like 11 or 12, set a reminder at 10 and just go list an item. I feel like
Yeah.
that's my next step, is like just have an alarm set like every night at 10 and just saying like, Joey, go list, just to have that motivation.
Well, here's a tip that I actually gave on someone else's YouTube channel a while back when people were asking me this question, and it's just because I do enjoy the listing process. But as far as the sourcing goes, like if you go to Goodwill every day on your route, here's my challenge to someone like you, Joey, in your situation, or anybody that's listening that has a job, part-time or full-time, and likes to source, is the discipline does come in handy when you need to know how to list your death pile and stuff like that. But to minimize your death pile or getting more stuff, set a minimum net profit for any item, no matter what it is. I don't care if they're Nikes or if they're vintage hats, because I know, for example, Joey likes to sell hats. So we'll use that for example. I would not pick up another darn hat unless it would net you $30 to $40 net profit, where it's going to hurt you a couple times to see a Yankees hat or a LeBron hat or something like that out in the wild. And you're like, dang, I could sell this for 20 bucks and it costs you two. And then after fees, you're netting, let's just say $14. Well, you need to just set more of a discipline to say, no, I'm just not going to pick it up because $14 is not going to be worth my time when I get home. Like you think at the thrift store, oh, $14 is good profit. Then when you get home, you're like, $14 isn't worth me listing right now. I'll list it later. So set that discipline so
That's
that
the
you're only buying stuff that's a certain profit.
that's
Or
the first P. First P I was talking about.
exactly,
Profit.
exactly,
Whatever that number is for you.
exactly. Number one P right there, Joey, is just, but I'm saying raise it a little bit. So like, most people I would say have a somewhat of a standard of like, okay, I need to make at least 10 bucks or I need to make at least 20 bucks on anything I pick up. Nobody's going to buy something for $1 and sell it for $5. That business model just doesn't work. So, but if you set it a little bit higher than what you're comfortable with, where it makes it uncomfortable for you, then you really start to think about the things you pick up and you say like, these New Balance shoes I could sell for $30 plus shipping or 35 free shipping. They cost me 10. I'm really only going to make about $16 on these shoes and I got to clean them, scrub them with a magic eraser, take 8 pictures of all the angles and then
Yep.
list them. You know, I'm going to leave these New Balance because it's not worth it. And then you walk to the next aisle and you find a pair of Chaco sandals that don't need any cleaning and you can sell them for 60. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And you're like, bada bing, baby, there it is. You know?
And we talked about I think all it was all three of us. I don't know if we were all talking about it. I don't know where I heard it from, but basically, I think it's from you, Drew. What you said to me is, while I'm home, just take a bunch of pictures of all my items, and then on my lunch break, just while I'm eating or whenever I'm doing it, is just, have it ready in drafts and just do all like the item specifics and just do it while I'm on my lunch break. So I know not to go like, you know, to Goodwill and just list, while I'm on my lunch break. But that's going a little over an extreme. But, if that's what it takes, for other people out there, I feel like that's good for you guys. If you have a death pile, just make sure you go home, take a bunch of pictures, don't list anything. But if you have that extra time, if you're going to a thrift store on your lunch break, just list. I feel like that's a great idea. I think Drew, I think you told me that, right?
Yep, I did.
Yeah. So I think that's like one of my next steps as well is to do to do that. So I think I might do that.
It's just getting into a habit of something you're not comfortable with to become uncomfortable in your business. So, if you have a habit of going to Goodwill every day, then you need to set the discipline of, okay, I'm going to take pictures of 5 things and I'm going to sit in my car and list those 5 things before I walk into this Goodwill. And then you're going to feel so free when you walk into Goodwill that you listed 5 things and now you can buy something like without having to feel like you're just going to throw it in a death pile. You're like, okay, now it's not going to be so bad because I have less items to list before I get to this one,
Mm,
or whatever. It's just a mental shift that a lot of people need to make, and this is kind of where I'm going with the um the direction of my channel is like trying to get people to understand the difference between just a regular reseller and an entrepreneur or a business person. And I keep using the word scaling or scalability, but I feel like it's so important to understand that because there's so many reasons why the two terms are separate. Resellers are people who don't know their numbers, they don't understand the 3 Ps like Josh said, and they really just buy things and sell it but don't keep track of how much money they're making, how well they're doing, and they're probably spending more than they're actually making on an average basis of those type of people that just go to thrift stores, and not pay attention to their business. But for me, I require myself to be disciplined because this pays my bills, it supports my family. I have to put
Mhm.
groceries in my refrigerator, pay my mortgage, and all these kinds of things. So, for someone who may have a full time job and doesn't really keep track of their numbers because they make enough income to pay their bills and then do reselling on the side as a quote side hustle, but realistically, they may not be making any money at all. And then they wonder why, like, why am I not seeing the profits that I thought I was making? You know,
Yeah.
is because they're just not realizing that they're spending $250 a week in inventory and they're only selling $260 worth of stuff. So
Yeah.
really, they're only making $10.
So I think I've done two things recently that have helped me with three things that have helped me with my death pile and with my death pile to new inventory ratio. The first thing I did was just organize my death pile. If you guys have watched my channel, you know that the original death pile was just 2 tables in my garage, just stacked with stuff. And when I wanted to go list something, I had another table of like stuff that was ready to be listed. So I would pull some shoes out and clean them and then put them on the other table ready to be listed. And that just gave me that table piled up. So a couple of videos ago, I went to Lowe's, got some new shelves. I reorganized the death pile. I got rid of one of the death pile tables altogether and replaced that table with 2 wire shelves, and literally just took stuff from the death pile and put it on the shelf. And that alone just made it look more organized and less hectic. And when I walk into the garage and I see a shelf of things ready to be listed, it's much more comforting and less stress inducing to see just heaps and heaps of inventory. So that's the first thing I did. The second thing I did was anytime I would go to Goodwill or go wherever to buy new items, I would try to take items from my death pile that weren't worth it for me anymore and redonate them to. I don't like donating to Goodwill. I donate to Salvation Army. So I would take like 5 items and I would just donate those to Salvation Army. I'm like, okay, took 5 items out of the death pile. Now I can feel better about buying 5 more items. So I'm not actually adding to the death pile. I'm just replacing items with better, more profitable items. That helped me. And then with listing, I do adopt the just one day a week, really just busting it out. Like I have a lady that comes. She hasn't been lately because things have been crazy. But and I went on vacation last week, but she will be here this week. And we usually just work that one day and just bust out 40 to 60 listings. And something that's helped me with that day is I moved my because I'm in the garage. Sometimes I have music. Music does help a little bit, helps kind of get your mind off of just focusing on pictures and titles and everything all day. But I moved one of my bedroom TVs out into the garage, and now I just have like movies playing all the time. And I got this idea from Casey Neistat. He's like the best vlogger on YouTube, in my opinion. If you guys don't follow him on YouTube, um, and he didn't even give this as a tip. He just said it in one of his videos, and I thought that was really interesting. He has a home gym. He lives in LA now, so their gyms aren't open. They probably won't be for a while. So he has a home gym, and instead of like going to work out for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, he works out for like 2 hours a day, but he works out while he watches a movie. So he'll just put on like a 2 hour movie, whatever he wants to watch, and just work out in spurts over that 2 hour period. So he's probably working out, 20 to 30 minutes, like full on, but it's over the course of 2 hours, and he's distracted by the movie. So he's not having to like focus so much on getting the workout done. For some people like my wife, she can go in the garage and work out 30, 45 minutes to an hour, focus 100% and be done with it and knock it out. But I don't have the perseverance to do that with working out or listing. So like just having Netflix or a movie or something going on while I'm listing to keep me kind of distracted. I guess it does slow down my listing process a little bit, like per like items per hour that I get listed, but it allows me to list more items in a single session. If I just sit down and start listing, I might list, 7 to 10 things an hour, but then I'm like burn out. I'm like, okay, I got to go thrift or something just to get out of here. But if I watch a movie and just have my mind preoccupied, I could list 15 to 20 things over the course of 2 hours, and not feel so burnt out at the end and not have to go thrifting to get my motivation back up. So those three things have helped me personally, in my opinion, I think get better at listing and managing my inventory.
Yeah, the movie strategy actually really does work. I find that sometimes late at night when my family is sleeping, is when I'm most productive. I think I've said that a couple times in our podcast, but I'll just sit in my office and I'll play like YouTube videos, or like for me, one of my guilty pleasures is like Impractical Jokers compilations.
Hmm.
Because like I've seen them enough where I know what the scene is, so I can like hear it and play the scene in my head, but I can focus on what I'm listing. And next thing I know, an hour's gone by and I got a bunch of listings done, and it doesn't even feel like I'm working because I'm sitting in front of a computer listening to something funny while I'm doing the listings. But then I'm not like constantly thinking about, reselling stuff because I'm distracting my mind, I guess you could say, if that's the right way to say it.
Hmm.
Or I used to watch like a Netflix series or a Hulu series, like Prison Break or Lost or something like that, where it's long, long, long seasons. So, both of those have, I think Lost was 6 seasons and Prison Break was 5 seasons. So then, like, you can just play those, and it's got a lot of content in the show, so it can keep you going for a long time.
Yep.
That stuff has worked really well for me too.
Joey, what's your favorite movie to watch while listing?
I'm actually not even a movie guy. It's not that I don't enjoy it. It's a long story, and I can't really say it on here. I could tell you guys behind the scenes, or if anybody wants to DM me about it. But I really like just not listening to anything. If that
Huh.
I know that's weird, but when I list, I need to focus. I don't know why. I just it's weird. And this live is different for me because I'm talking to other people and it slows me down. Like my brain works better when I can think. I don't know. I'm just a different guy. Um
Some
but
people like that, man. Everybody has preferences on everything. Like
yeah,
getting married, I learned that. Like I slept with the TV on my entire life. Like I love noise when I sleep, but
me
my wife
too.
hates. So of course now we don't sleep with the TV on. I default to her judgment. And it's crazy how just like you never think about things like that. Like I love noise when I sleep, when I work. Like sometimes there's like a YouTube video that's 10 hours of like office sounds, like people talking in the background and like fax machines and things like that. And I'll just play that like if I'm just sitting here in the office like editing a video just to have like something going on. I hate silence. But you're completely different.
Yeah. And like even when I drive to work in the morning, like people think I'm crazy. I don't even listen to music. I just think. And and it's just something that helps me like throughout the day. I guess I just think about what I'm going to do, what's my next step, what am I going to eat for lunch, because I eat out. It's just like, I don't know, like it soothes me rather than to listen to music. I don't know, I get
Mm.
into like a certain funk, and I really enjoy thinking in my head because that's where all my ideas come out, and that helps me with like YouTube, or it helps me with, with anything. So that's me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me during your lives, Joey, I just I find that other people are like motivated by the fact that they're literally watching me doing listings versus looking at the chat so much because you do that. And it's good because it's your channel and like you're responding to people and stuff like that. But I think that's why it works well when I'm on there with you and we're doing them together because you're still getting listings done and you're actually doing more listings every week. Like you've increased almost every single week since you started, where people were like, oh, Joey's only going to get 2 listings done. And last week, I think you did 12 or 13, which is a lot more. So like people can't really make fun of you much anymore. But some people have said things like, I it's interesting to just watch Drew like sit there and take pictures and do his listings, right then and there, or whatever. See my process. Like I literally just sit here and take pictures and list it. Um, but for me, like the fact that you're there and like I can just talk to you, but I know I don't have to be looking directly at the computer to have a conversation with you,
Hmm.
is why I'm able to be so productive. Because I could talk to you on your live for 6 hours and just be like, Joey, what's going on? How was your mail truck today? Like what's new? How's your family? When's your dad going to let me come over and play poker? And I'm literally doing listings while we're having this conversation. So, you know, but Josh is right. I mean, it's different for everybody. You have to find those strategies and things that work well for you, like Little Elm Goods and Little Elm Thrifts, Ken and Eric. They have like what they call cleaning sessions where they'll sit at home late at night on the couch and play a movie, and then they'll clean all their shoes while watching a movie. So they have their drying racks up there, they have a whole system, and they watch a movie and clean shoes at the same time. So like that's their strategy there. And then, I don't know the rest of it, but I know they've shared that on Instagram. So different things work for different people, and you just have to find those tactics for your business model and your lifestyle and figure out what works. And if that means just being
Basically,
Yeah.
quiet, dead quiet, white, no like silence, then that's what you need. You need to shut the world off, get a second phone just for taking pictures and doing listings so you're not distracted by notifications or whatever. Some people
Hmm.
need that. And some people like Josh need fax machine noises in the background.
It's weird, man. Like in college, my roommates, like I've always gone to bed kind of early. Like Drew and Joey make fun of me because I go to bed at like right now. Like my wife's probably going to bed like it's 8:15 on Monday night. And even in college, I went to bed early, but I liked the noise. So like I would go to bed and I'd leave my room door open. And my roommates were like, "Hey, do you want us to shut the door? We're being kind of loud, like playing video games." I'm like, "No, dude, I love it. Be as loud as you want."
have a
It's so
party.
I don't
Double
like the
kill,
feeling of being
triple kill,
alone, like when I'm trying to sleep.
kill-tacular.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Halo. Like they would stay up all night playing Halo, and I just love the sound of that. But I just don't like the feeling of being alone when I'm sleeping, and like the quietness makes me feel like I'm alone. Like I'd much rather sleep in like a big cabin filled with people.
That's
Yeah, I
funny.
could agree with that. I'm exactly like you, Josh. Like I used to have the TV on all night. I used to have the light on, like everything.
What?
I can't. I swear, I can have people just yelling and screaming while I'm sleeping, and I mean I can hear it, but like it's different.
It's
Like
comforting.
I can sleep through it, but like when something bad happens, I'm shot up. Like I just wake
Yeah.
up. Like it's weird. But I hear like something downstairs, like I'll have my cats like just walking around. If something falls, like I can hear it and I'll wake up. But if I heard the TV going, like I guess you just dream about it or something.
Yeah.
Well, other than dreaming about people and what they're doing while you're sleeping, um, Josh definitely is a more of a early sleeper than I am. So let's take the next couple minutes and just discuss something that I think we were going to hit last episode and we actually missed it a little bit. Is a little bit more of the YouTube side. So let's talk about
Hmm.
each other's YouTube channels and like what your plans are, let's say for the next month and a half for the end of the year, if you have any goals. Like my goal was to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I just hit 5,000. So I obviously didn't reach my goal, but I don't feel like there was much I could have done to change that because I've been consistent with my videos. It just, the
Mhm.
virality of it didn't really, play into my favor. So, I mean, I'm thankful for all my subscribers. I love making the content. But I was just telling Josh right before we started, like, I don't know how some people are able to do these daily uploads, have a full time job, pack, ship, list, source, and do all this stuff by themselves, and I'm a pretty hardcore reseller. I consider myself pretty involved in my business. I don't spend a lot of time just sitting on the couch doing nothing, or anything like that. If I have any downtime, it's literally like with my kids and my wife, or I'm in
Mhm.
my office listing and taking pictures. So, kudos to those people. Like I was telling Josh, Troy Mountain Man Treasure has got a job. He does a video like every day, what sold. He's pulling the sales, he's shipping them, and somehow he's managing to list stuff that he found at garage sales and stuff too. So, um, that's kind of what it's like for me right now is I feel like YouTube has not become the back burner of my business, but it's second to listing on eBay, of course, because that's my primary income. So I prioritize,
Yeah.
listing and making sales over making YouTube videos, but I'm trying to make
Yeah.
more, whereas I was making maybe doing 2 or 3 a week. Now it's probably 1 or 2 a week, sometimes 3 a week. Um, but I'm just really trying to focus on scaling the business in Q4. So
Anybody's going to prioritize where you make the most money. Like some people, not really lately, but and not very often, but a few people have been like, "Oh, Harry Tornado makes more on YouTube than he does on eBay, so he's not a reseller anymore." I was like, "Yeah, I'm still a reseller. Like that's what my channel is about." But obviously, if I have to make the choice, like last week, I made the whole video. I'm like, Wednesday, I was like, "Okay, do I want to make a video today to put out before I leave, or do I want to list stuff to pad my store before I go on vacation?" And I made the choice to list stuff, and then I sold a bunch of stuff that night. So I'm like, "Well, I guess I better." Wake up Thursday before we were leaving at like 12:30. And so I woke up Thursday, packed up 16 orders, got them shipped out, filmed the what sold video, uploaded it, premiered it, and then left for the vacation. So I ended up doing both.
let's
But
go, baby. That's what I'm
let's
talking
go,
about.
baby. Again, it's about the priority. Like in that case, I chose eBay because I felt like I had a lot of good stuff in my store that I picked up at Dream Deals and Crazy Cowboys the last couple of weeks, stuff that I thought would sell, and it did. One of my best sales of this weekend was that Transformer set that I got from Crazy Cowboys. It was like an Amazon exclusive, and it was $7, and I sold it for 165 free shipping. So that was awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, it's just about anybody's going to put more attention in their business to where the money's coming in. And right now, in the last couple of months, I've made significantly more money on YouTube than I have with eBay. But that doesn't mean I'm not selling on eBay. It's just you got to be careful about where you put your time.
Yeah, well, as business people, we adapt, and grow into the strategies that work best for us. So, and we've talked about this before. I don't know if maybe it was on this podcast or on other, if I know I've talked about it, like on OBX Picker's YouTube channel, was the, what you call it, like Cincinnati Picker, for example. John's a great guy. He's an amazing hard worker, but he doesn't really have to make that many sales on eBay because he's got a great YouTube channel about reselling. So, when it comes down to it, his viewer sales are probably, in my opinion, at least 50% of his business. So, he doesn't really have to focus on sourcing and strategizing insane inventory that's going to sell for mad profits. He just, if he runs into something, then that's kind of what happens. So, but for someone like me, I don't have the audience like John does, which he deserves it. Of course, he worked for it, he's earned it, and he puts out great content. So he's focusing more on making videos about garage sales and thrift stores, but yet he's still listing. You just don't see him making videos about him listing. He's making videos about what sold or, at the garage sales because that's what the people want. So he's just giving the people what they want, and in return, that benefits him twofold. He can go buy more inventory because his viewers are buying his stuff, and he can make videos about it. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think everybody's in different places. Like even Joey, you've got a full time job, so you have to prioritize your job before you can prioritize eBay or YouTube.
Hmm.
And once you get to the place where you decide that you don't want to be a mailman anymore, then the YouTube and the eBay will take priority, of course. And then whichever one starts making you more money, that's where you grow. You don't continue to do something that's not making you as much money. So for Josh to adapt to his YouTube channel and to his followers, like why wouldn't you do that if you're making significantly more money? You can still be a reseller, you're just shifting your business model from, you know, doing something different, but it still makes you money. And now you're doing both and you have two streams of income. You just follow the one that's doing better. You put more effort into it because you can grow it more.
Right. But, you know, when I eventually do this full time, and I can't wait to do it, I just feel like that's your content, though. I mean, you have to go out and, it's just a thrill. I feel like, eventually when we both do grow our channels, I really do see like me continuing the eBay stuff, but maybe picking up better items or just leaving behind like lower dollar items. But I mean, I feel like with Rally Roots, with their model, like with $30 or more, I feel like that would be my strategy, in doing that. And I mean, it's just YouTube is just a beautiful place. It's just all about you, and people are always going to love your content. And I just feel like going to thrift stores or garage sales and just doing it is just such a good feeling. Like it's just like that therapeutic type of deal. I love the thrill of just going out and thrifting. But like you said, when you come home, you got, like for me, I got that death pile. I don't want that death pile. I'm never gonna have this death pile if I go full time. Trust me. It's just having a full-time job is very difficult, and having a YouTube channel, but I love it. And it's not like, I have to do it. It's, I want to do it. And that's the difference between, me and other people or whatever it is. But I love the content and I love doing it. So,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love making YouTube videos, but at the same time, like I said earlier, I have to provide for my family. So I do have to focus more on listing and making sure that my content is there.
right.
Or not my content, but my strategy is there and it's in place for making sure that I'm doing everything I can to make as much money as possible. And then the YouTube is kind of like eventually I feel like I'll get to a point where, I think that in the long run, one of my goals is to be kind of like a motivational speaker. So eventually, I'd like to transition my channel from just being a thrifter reseller to also putting in like, more almost coaching and motivation, like how to get to this point, how to make more money, how to adapt in your business, how to grow, how to use the three P's to your benefit, and those types of things versus just making thrift haul videos and what sold videos. I obviously want to evolve my business from, as one of my goals, from just being Drew thrifts and flips on Instagram to being almost like not an empire. That's not the right word, but just being like a guy that does more than just resells, and I want to like help
But
people. And Reezy does that. He doesn't just make videos about retail arbitrage. I mean, he's done interviews with Gary Vee and he talks about other things, and I feel like that's the way that all businesses have to be eventually is you have to get creative, you have to do different things, and you have to, you know, increase and change what you're doing sometimes. At least for me, like I know I won't be happy, you know, just thrifting and recording what sold videos for the rest of my life. I have to keep, trying new things and finding different things that will either work or help people.
you can
Um,
also start like a second channel if you want to, if that's what your plan is. Like, I feel like eventually it's so weird, but that's exactly what I want to do is like be a motivational speaker for other people. And it's really funny because like I feel like we're very similar, and it's so weird that we think like alike. Wow, I just said alike and like 10,000 times. But I think that having another channel would be great for you. I mean, and if it's just strictly on like a niche, I feel like that's better, instead of, changing your whole entire platform. Or you could just imply it, 1 minute into your video.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think I'll definitely start with a strategy like that where I slowly work it in and see how it goes. But like Gary Vee has tried multiple different things in his business. Like I think he did the trash talk thing for a while and he really loves garage sales, but he doesn't have a lot of time to be able to continue to do it. So he's like, "You know what? I'm just going to do the daily V or tea with Gary Vee or the different things that he does." But he's always trying new things. Like I've noticed that with him and he sticks to the ones that really pop off and he just drops off the ones that don't. Like talking about sports cards, he has a passion for that, but if the viewers aren't watching it, he's not going to put effort into making videos about it, but he's still going to do it, if that makes sense. So like I don't think I'll ever stop reselling and making thrift haul videos and what sold videos, but eventually I do want to be like on a bigger scale, helping people, changing people's lives, encouraging people, and those types of things. So
I didn't hear all of that because I had to go to the bathroom really bad. So I came back on the tail end. But are we still talking about YouTube goals?
yes,
Okay. Um,
and
I,
we can finish off with you right here because I just talked for a long time.
okay. Uh, I'm sure your goals were very good, and both of you are excellent communicators and motivators. And I think whatever your dreams are, you will have no trouble reaching them. My goals for the end of the year. So generally, YouTube pays you more towards the end of the year because, like, what you're paid from YouTube is directly proportionate with how much advertisers are willing to pay. And this time of year, advertisers are advertising like crazy, whatever their product is. So generally, like Q4 AdSense from YouTube is a little bit higher than regular, and that's what I'm seeing on my channel right now. So hopefully, in the rest of December, November, like the ad money is there. So obviously, you want to make as many videos as possible, but not too many. A lot of like vlog channels do like vlog or I don't know. Vlogmas. That's what it is. The 31 days of Vlogmas. And they just post dumb vlogs every day just to not providing like quality content, like just to make as much money as they can. Um, so again, it's tough to find that balance because I'm like, do you want to spend your time listing and like selling a lot of stuff in Q4 or making more videos to make more money with YouTube, because both platforms that I make my money on are going to pay it's somewhat a little bit more. We're going to expect a little bit more eBay sales, a little bit more YouTube ad revenue. So I just want to finish strong. September was my best YouTube month ever. October was only behind it by like $300. November is probably going to be a good bit less. Like September and October, I had a couple different videos that were doing really well. Like not quite viral, but I had like my dream deals video that's up to like 220,000 views. I had a video called like how I make $42,000 a year that was getting up to like 150,000 views. Fun fact, somebody commented on that video and I knew somebody was going to do this, but I like personally, I'm in South Carolina. I think that video was how I made $42,000 a year after tax and expenses and everything. And he's like, this is your full-time job and you only made $42,000.
Oh yeah, you gotta love those.
I'm like, yeah, man, that's a lot of money for like me in South Carolina selling thrift store stuff on eBay. That's a lot. It's more than money that I was making in my job.
Yeah.
Um,
This is a whole nother conversation we can have, but somebody said on one of my YouTube videos today about flipping a PS5 for profit. Somebody commented and said, it's people like you that, are scum of the earth resellers or something like that. And, people just don't understand capitalism, supply and demand, or any of those things, which I feel like would be a great podcast topic to just start with that
yeah,
comment and go off from there about how business works and things like that. But you're always going to have haters on your channel. I actually love when people leave me dislikes on my videos. It just makes me laugh like someone took time out of their day to dislike a video that I spent time
dude,
making, that they hate me that much.
time out of this one guy commented on that my $42,000 video, and it's like I make that much in a month. At the time, my video had like 40,000 views. I was like, and you have time to find my 40,000 view YouTube video and leave me a hate comment? Like most people that are making that kind of money are busy running their business, not commenting on YouTube videos. It's just you just got to roll with the punches. But But I don't know. But yeah, my plan is just keep going, be consistent, 2, 3 videos a week. I think I posted 16 videos in September, which was, like I said, my best month ever. So that's about one video every 2 days, which was very good. I have a lot of trouble posting more than that. So I think if I can do 12 to 15 videos per month, that's really good for me.
So when you say that, you post like, let's say Monday and then you wait until Thursday, or is it Monday and Wednesday and then like Friday, like that?
I don't really have a schedule. I just like I think in September I had 3 days where I posted a video every day, like back to back to back. And then in October, I had a whole week where I didn't post anything, like 7 days with nothing. And then, like at the end of October, I posted two, like the 30th and the 31st. Or yeah, I don't know, but I don't really have a schedule. I just post as often as I can. If I do a lot of stuff in a weekend, I go thrifting and open a Goodwill pallet and I have a what sold video. Then I have 3 videos coming out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mhm.
Um, so I
See,
just
like I don't know how to do with me because like I do a live every Monday night, and then like I feel that I have to like like post something either Wednesday or like just leave like a day, and then like I don't know how to like post a video without it, interfering with something else. Or do you kind of just say, I'm gonna
I don't
post
think it
this?
interferes.
Not really. Like I don't know.
I
I
think
have like a mind, like I don't know how to say it. Like my conscience is telling me like not to do that. I don't know why. Like what do you think
Like, you
about
feel
that?
like you have to upload, like, on specific days every day of the week or something?
It's not like that. It's more of like I don't want to do a live video and then have a video like right after that. Like, can you like help me out with that? Because like I don't know. Like, should I should I just whenever I make a video, just put it out like and just not worry about what time it is, or not like what time, but like what day or how long it was after my live. Like, what do you think about that, Josh?
I mean, I wouldn't put too much thought into it, man. I mean, people that watch your live are going to watch your video too, like no matter when
Mm-hmm.
you post it. I mean, if you get into the habit of posting like, and if you want to have like a very structured YouTube channel where you post like get the most views, you can say, hey guys, I'm going to upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at exactly 7 p.m. Eastern, and you
Mm-hmm.
do that consistently for 6 months. People are going to get into the habit of watching your videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. But I'm not organized enough to do that. So I've posted at 12. I've posted at 3. I've posted 3 days back to back. I've posted a week in between, and most of my videos get about the same amount of views. Um, yeah,
It's so
yeah.
crazy because like I always see like either you like put a video out at 12, like 8 o'clock at night. Like it's just like how, like I don't know like what time to post. Like I just say, all right, 4 o'clock's my time. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
post. Like, it's just like
I
cool to
mean,
see
you have to look at
you.
your audience too.
Go ahead,
Like
go
like
ahead.
I mean, you have to look at where your audience is. Like if you post at 8 p.m. Eastern, and like I have a good amount of followers in like Australia and the UK, and it's like super late for people in the UK. It's the next day for people in Australia. So it's never you're never going to have a perfect time for everybody. Um, so it's really just about making a good title and a good thumbnail.
Right.
And then over the next 72 hours, hopefully YouTube pushes that out to most of your subscribers. Sometimes they don't see it, but hopefully they see it and click on it. I think it's more just about being consistent with your uploads, like consistent with the number. So like you don't want to do like 5 in one week and then nothing for 3 weeks, and then another
Right.
4, nothing for 2 weeks. Like as long as you're doing 2 to 3 videos a week, I think that's the key.
Yeah, I'm just trying to strategize. I'm just trying to learn like the algorithm, I'm trying to watch what you're doing and just try to like roll with the punches like you say, and just try to like learn. I'm just trying to learn the strategy of YouTube. Like it's just so difficult. I don't know why I'm like I get my
Strategy
mind.
is there's no strategy. You're overthinking it. Just upload your videos when you want, and eventually you'll get a viral video. I mean, that's how, from what I understand, 95% of YouTubers, how they're successful is they have one or two videos go viral or semi-viral in their niche, and then people start watching their videos and checking them out and going, "Oh wow, this person has some really good, interesting content."
Hmm.
But most videos, the only other thing that I've seen is from other YouTubers shouting out a smaller channel and then them getting a lot of followers from that. But the only other way it can happen is if you're just consistent, 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 and you organically grow, which is kind of like where I'm at right now. Like I've been doing it for about a year and 8 months, and I'm organically at 5,000 subscribers. I haven't had any viral videos or anything like that. Josh has shouted me out when we obviously went up to him, and that helped. It boosted me about 800 subscribers. But other than that, like, I really haven't had any big players like say something in a video or anything like that. So it just takes time, and I wouldn't stress too much about the algorithm or figuring it out. Just keep posting, man.
I think what my problem is I watch too much Graham Stephan, and I think Josh can relate with that. Every time I
Mhm.
watch him, he's just always like, it's got to be like this, like, and I feel like that's why I'm so like
Dude,
psyched out about it.
Graham, like, he's a cool guy, but you got to remember he's a workaholic. Like he's got one employee now that helps him. He's got 3 YouTube channels posting every single day, and you just can't compare yourself to him. I can't even compare myself to him. He all he does is YouTube. He never takes any time to celebrate or spend any of his money. It's
Yeah.
like if I hit 3 million subscribers, whatever, we'll go out to happy hour sushi,
Yeah.
and that's it. I'm like, I don't know, like he's making a ton of money, and I just don't want that kind of life. I don't want to have to be like stressed out having to. He's uploaded every single day for like 2 years now.
It's
And so I
nuts.
can imagine the stress that comes along with that, like worrying about missing a day, It's much easier just to do what you want, as long as you're putting out videos and you feel good about the consistency and your audience is happy, just go with it.
I know. What I've been doing is I've been watching all of their or just listening to all the podcasts that he's put out, the Iced Coffee Hour, and
Mhm.
like, I just get so excited about our podcast, and I just want to learn from others, and I feel like he's the best one to learn from.
Yeah.
But it's just I love him. Like, I just love the strategy of where I need to have a good thumbnail and I have to have a good title, and if it doesn't work, like, I'm changing it in the next like minute, so I don't know. I want to have that mentality, but like I don't want to have where, like you said, the celebration that he has where, oh, we're gonna go get sushi. It's like, no, I'm going out to go see Josh. I'm flying out to go to Italy. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just I want to enjoy my life. I feel like he just works way too much. Like, I just want him to enjoy it.
Yeah. But maybe he enjoys that. Maybe he enjoys working. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he does.
Anyways, boys, it's over an hour and I gotta go to bed.
Oh, this guy's tired.
I love you
No.
both so much, but Haley's already in bed, and I told her it was going to be a 30-minute podcast tonight, and we are at an hour and 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. Make sure to leave a
Well, I
thumbs
had
up on this video if you're watching on YouTube, and comment down below anything you guys want us to talk about.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Love you so much.